Hello, adventurer. I am coming to you today to answer some of the questions I received from my live stream the other day in All Things Exploring Alaska. Now, go catch that replay if you haven't yet. I highlighted some of my favorite things in comparing the concept of cruising down the coast of Alaska versus vacationing in the interior or doing a land vacation in Alaska. And it's still, like you probably saw in the video the other day, it's one of my favorite places. And I wanted to answer some of the questions to get you even more excited about Alaska and the experiences you can have as you're thinking about taking time out of the day to day, out of work, and going and exploring somewhere that connects you with nature. So let's talk about the different modes of transportation. So I spent a lot of time on the last video talking about cruising down the coast of Alaska. What other kinds of modes of transportation are there? I mentioned a little bit briefly, like for a land vacation, you could do a self-drive experience, driving just like you do here at home in Texas or any state you're in. But there are other ways to see the countryside too. In Alaska, you can do a train experience and ride from Anchorage to Talkeetna onto Denali. You could go all the way to Fairbanks on that train experience. There's also a train that goes Anchorage to Seward, but no matter which train experience you take, if possible, I highly recommend the Gold Star experience on the Alaska Rail. That is going to give you a first class experience, VIP all the way, so that you are in the train car that has this beautiful dome. So it covers you in case it's chilly or windy. And you can still see out, see the beautiful scenery, see the animals in the wild, try and spot the different animals. And then there's also a viewing platform on the back of the car. So it's a great way to capture photos and experience parts of the state that you can't necessarily get to otherwise. And on a full train experience, there is dining down on the lower level of the car. So you can have lunch on the train while you take a break from viewing all that there is to see. So it's definitely a great way to experience at least a day in Alaska the next time you're there. Now, one of the other things as far as modes of transportation is flight seeing. I mentioned it briefly, but I wanted to touch on it a little bit more. So one of my favorite tour companies is based in Talkeetna, which, side note, next time you're there, go check out the general store, go search for their mayor of their town, Aurora the cat. Yes, I said cat. It's a cool tradition in that town. They love their felines, and so much so that they have named them mayors of the town. So check that out. Now, when you're in Talkeetna for that flight seeing experience, there are some great options to go up and see Denali in a different way, being up close to the mountain in a very different way, as long as the weather's permitting. And then there's also some flight seeing options that will take you to actually land on a glacier so you can do a little trekking there. I highly recommend that if you get a chance and feel a little adventurous. So we just mentioned trains. We've talked about seeing things from an airplane. There's also small boats. So maybe if you're not a cruiser, but you want to get close to a glacier, you want to go see the life that's in the water, maybe a sea lion or otters or whatever it is. That could be a great thing to do on a day trip on a small boat charter where you go out, the captain can be nimble and get you up to the animal life. They could get you close to a glacier. They can see what's happening with the way the ice is breaking so that they can give you a really great experience. So if staying on a boat 7 nights is not your thing, don't worry. A day trip may be the way to go. Now, the last way, of course, is round out the mode of transportation. I mentioned it briefly before also, but you can do a self-driving experience. So you've got cars, you've got planes, you've got trains, you've got boats. There is so many different ways that you could experience the state so that it is a vacation that fits your travel style and your preferences. So now there's one other thing I was asked about that I want to touch on. And that is the idea of having the best of both worlds. What if you do like to cruise, but you really like the idea of seeing the interior too? Well, if you can take enough days off work, plan for like 10 to 12 days, maybe 14, depending on how long you want to be gone, you can do something called a cruise tour. And that is the 7-night cruise sailing combined with a land experience either before the cruise or after the cruise. That gives you a chance to have a train experience, to stay in a wilderness lodge, to get into the interior, into the national parks a little bit more. I highly recommend it. I think that's a great way to get a taste of everything. Just like I like to cruise to different ports of call to see where I really want to go back and spend more time and immerse myself in the culture. I really think seeing Alaska this way is totally the way to go. Now, with that, you will want to plan for those cruise tour or typically your summer travel months. I am taking care of clients that are traveling, like I'm looking at my calendar, like August-ish, late July, August. There's just a little bit of availability left if that's something you're thinking about. So definitely let's get in touch if you want to talk a little bit more and brainstorm the idea of you going and experiencing Alaska. Okay. Now, to find out about the best offers and travel opportunities for anything that might be a good fit for you and your travel style, the best thing to do is to be on our email list. So if you're not, you can pop over to delladventures.com. And when that pop-up box comes up, you can get into our mailing list. I don't spam you, I promise. It's just once or twice a month to keep you up to date on all the latest things happening in the world of travel. So I'd love to be in touch with you there. Drop me comments below with any more questions that I haven't answered yet about Alaska. But next up in the works, I am starting to plan for some fabulous experiences behind the scenes to bring more content to you, to really show you different parts of the world that maybe feel a little exotic and a little hard to get to. So I can't wait to share more. I would love for you to place some guesses of where I might be going that you feel is exotic and even talk about where you want to go next in the world. So I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Have a fabulous day. Keep dreaming about travel, and we'll talk soon.